I made a lot of hygiene mistakes, so let's talk about some of these mistakes that we can avoid.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
I made a lot of mistakes throughout the years, a lot of hygiene mistakes, and maybe some of these could help you because I don't have anyone to like tell me. We're gonna talk about skincare, shower mistakes, and even what might be making you smell a little funky. So we're gonna go right into it. Tip number one is exfoliate before the shower, not after. If you're exfoliating after, not before, it's gonna cause a lot of irritation on your skin, and that's coming from experience. I used to shave, I used to call it like the sandwich shave. So I used to exfoliate, shave, exfoliate. But what that does is before it's good, it kind of preps your skin, tells you, for your follicles to kind of soften up, so when you shave it's easier to kind of cut the hair. But after, your skin already been through it. You've already shaved over and over. Your skin is irritated. Going back with an exfoliant, just kind of like rubbing it, you're irritating your skin even more. So avoid that. Doing that gave me strawberry legs, irritation. My skin will be red after I shave my legs. And I used to be like, what did I do? And then after shaving, I used to go back with African net and wash it. I even have evidence if y'all want to see, like older shorts, which was like even as early as last year. And once I stopped, I saw the biggest difference. My skin didn't feel as irritated, or like it felt very sensitive, just red. I can see the strawberry skin coming up, the bumps. Obviously, change your razors and everything while shaving, but that's the number one thing I saw with exfoliation. So exfoliate before shaving, not after. While we're on this topic of exfoliating, my favorite one is from First Aid Beauty. I've been wanting to try that for years, and then I got so lucky. They sent me a PR and I got to try it, and I've loved it ever since. My other favorite one is Dove. So Dove has a polished one, and they have like level 1, 2, or 3. My favorite third level one is the coconut and brown sugar one. That one has a lot of rocks, so it really helps me exfoliate and get that dead skin. But those two are my top 2 favorite exfoliators. The next is not brushing your teeth at night. If you don't brush your teeth at night, your breath will stink. I used to have such a hard time brushing my teeth at night. It was like pulling teeth. Like at nighttime would come, I would make excuses every single night. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I would wash my face, leave, and be like, oh, I'm too lazy. Like I was there. The toothbrush was literally like an inch away. There was always some type of excuse. But once I made it a priority, especially this year, when I tell you, it makes the biggest difference. First of all, for cavities, you don't want that. Cavities brings bad breath. It's just, nobody wants cavities. You go to the dentist office and then they just be like, oh, they can just tell you don't brush your teeth at night. Also the smell. When you're talking to people throughout the day, you don't want your breath to smell bad. Brushing your teeth at night will make it so much easier, because think about all the food you ate throughout the day, everything, all the sweets especially, that just gets stuck in between your teeth. Another thing I'll say is floss. Floss, floss, floss. If you're able to floss your teeth every single day, do that. Just think about all the food that's stuck, all the meat, all the bread, every single thing you ate in between your teeth, just waiting. It's just like cooking in there. You just don't want that. To save that time and embarrassment, brush your teeth at night. So the next tip, don't wash your laundry with a huge load. Like try to break your loads into pieces where it's like into smaller loads, so that your clothes are being washed properly. Especially if you leave your clothes throughout the night inside the washer, your clothes will smell bad. It will smell like mildew. It kind of just sits there, and that laundry, I don't even know where the smell comes from, but when you leave it in the washer for a long time, that like wet, dirty towel smell kind of comes to your clothes. Even set a timer if that's like a problem, to like you forget, because I'm not gonna lie, I forget sometimes to just put it immediately in the washer, in the dryer. Whenever you do laundry, make sure the loads are smaller, your clothes are being washed properly, the detergent's getting that. And also, especially for your gym clothes, I've mentioned this a bunch of times, but white vinegar will help get that funk, just like that smell of like sweat, everything that just kind of builds up inside your laundry ramp or inside your laundry basket. Even like separate your really sweaty clothes to clothes you don't really wear, or it doesn't smell that much, or even sensitive clothes like your underwear, your bra, your socks. Separate those. And I know some laundry, especially college, because I've been through college, I know some people have to pay for that. So I know some people can only afford one laundry a week. So with that, I really understand. But if you're able to, if you have a washing machine, dryer inside your unit, inside your house, that's like for free, try to separate your clothes. The next is not washing your shower washcloths. It actually builds, because we come in the shower dirty from the day, sweating, just everything from that. We go inside the shower, we wash our bodies with, I use an African net cloth, but if you use a washcloth, If you use a loofah, I advise you throw it away. But you know what? That's just my thing. If it works for you, it does. But I highly recommend African neckcloth. It lasts longer and it's cheaper. Even if you go weeks without washing it, it holds dirt from that day before. And even, you know, you could wash it with soap. Whatever soap is left with it, you could just like rinse it, but that's not enough. We need to put it inside the laundry. Also with that, put vinegar, detergent obviously, but with vinegar added to it, it helps it clean extra. I use my African neckcloth and my microfiber washcloth for my downstairs area. I just put it on the load, like when it's laundry day, I get my laundry basket, I go inside the bathroom, I get those 2 things, put it in there, wash it, bring it back. African neckcloth can last you a year if you keep up with it. The one I have, I bought it back in April, and I can wait till next April, but I actually been wanting to get a different color. If I don't wash it each week, it's basically like a loofah. It holds bacteria. It's just so many different things. So just wash it. If you do use loofahs, just throw it away and get another one. I know loofahs like a couple of dollars, but just think about your skin, okay? Really think about switching things out. I've mentioned in my hygiene video, like, you know, your toothbrush, also with your shower washcloth. It's so important. The next hygiene tip to avoid is not washing your hair regularly. So it could be daily. I know some people wash it daily, some people wash it a couple times a week, and some people wash it weekly like me. Just have some type of schedule where you wash your scalp, wash your actual hair. I don't know who made up the only wash your scalp, but I don't believe in that. These things hold leave-in conditioner, cream, gel, everything that's in here, it holds it. Our hair needs to be clean to grow, but to also like smell good, to keep up with our hygiene. The one smell I can't stand is like dirty old scalp, especially on me. Like if I smell that, wash days today. I don't care if it's the 3rd day. Really take care of your scalp, because the scalp, we have like natural oil, grease, and that brings up smell. And you just want to smell good, your hair to be clean. As I mentioned before, if your scalp is not clarified, your hair won't grow. When people say like, give us hair growth tips, I'm like, stay consistent with your wash day. Make sure you have a certain day. It doesn't have to be like every Friday, but you could be like, you know, once a week around the same time. You wash your hair. I always double cleanse with shampoo. The first time I wash it, it doesn't bubble up as much because of all the dirt, grease, everything. Once I wash that out and then I go back with my shampoo again, it bubbles up. I always use products that have apple cider vinegar because that's really good to clarify your scalp. My favorite is Shea Moisture Black Castor Oil with apple cider vinegar and peppermint, and my hair keeps growing, so it's doing something right. You don't want to stunt your hair growth because you don't wash your hair. If you're natural hair, I know we've been hearing a lot to just wash the scalp, not the rest of your hair. No, the rest of our hair needs washing. The next hygiene mistake we need to avoid is taking piping hot showers. Let me just tell you, it's not doing anything for your skin. Your skin will be irritated, dry, red. Your skin should not be pink or red coming out the shower. I know a lot of us love that. I know that warmth just feels so good on our back. I remember like school mornings or like places that you need to be. If I'm really tired and I need to take a shower, I just kind of stand and just let the water just run, and it's hot. The best way to do it is warm to hot, not hot, not piping hot. You don't need tea boiling water. It irritates our skin, as I said. It makes it dry. But I'm not saying take cold showers. Obviously, like warm to hot is good, you know, to open up our pores, kind of detox everything from that day. I've been rinsing with cold water at the end to just kind of like seal everything. It's been helping my skin glow. At the end, I rinse with freezing cold water for like 30 seconds to a minute. And that's been helping me a lot with just like different things. It's good for my nervous system. Please try to avoid piping hot showers. Another thing I'll say from my experience, it actually made my body acne way worse. My chest acne and my back acne, I used to struggle with it a lot, especially my back acne. I had a lot of scars. Now it's almost like 99% gone. You know, I do cold rinse, especially, you know, the body washes I use. But I remember taking hot showers and it would just make it worse. At the end of my showers, like when I'm drying, it just looked so inflamed. Even like the ashiness was a little, you know what I mean? And I feel like the hot water played a role. Maybe I didn't wear enough lotion, but the hot water definitely played a role. The next hygiene mistake to avoid is not patch testing when you get a new product. I'm the queen of that. I always get some type of hives or something from trying something new, and this has been a repeated process since I was younger, and I'm learning though. This year, I've actually been doing good because now it's actually my job to try new products. So I've been patch testing. You can either do it like on your hand or I would say like neck, because our neck is like more sensitive than our hands. Just something that's similar to your skin on your face, but our face is the most sensitive. If you get any type of irritation, you might be allergic to some products or some ingredients in the products. Just be careful. You don't want to get hives or breakout by just testing a new product. Like you're so excited for this new product, you try it on and then your skin breaks out. Like that is a nightmare. Let me tell you, I've been through it. why I used to be so impatient. I don't even know why, but it was just like that excitement of like getting a new product. I just put it on my face. I'm like, okay, do your magic. Okay, under eye cream, make the dark circles go away. But it's like, be patient, try it on, patch test it for like the next couple of days. Save your time, money, skin. Just be patient and patch test. The next thing I'll say is not drinking water throughout the day. I know what you're about to say. I've heard this tip over and over and over, but let me just tell you, it's so important. Like, do you have a water bottle right now? Do you? Let me see. Go drink it. Actually, I'm gonna make it, I should make it a theme, right? At the beginning, I'll be like, did you get your water? Just to make sure it's right beside you. Just throughout the day, I got mine right here. Do you have yours? The benefits of drinking water throughout the day is it's just mind-blowing what water could do. I mean, obviously we're like 60-70% of water. One of the benefits is it helps with dry mouth. That means it helps you produce more saliva so that your breath doesn't smell bad. My mom has always taught me this, but when your mouth is dry, that's when your breath starts to smell bad. Always carry some type of water with you, especially if you're at work throughout the day. And if you're in college, maybe you're in class, you know, in high school you go to class, just carry water with you and just take a sip during class, during work. Another thing is it helps our skin so much. It helps the elasticity. That means like that bounce. And we want that until we're old, okay? As long as we can. You know, aging is good. I'm gonna embrace my lines and fine lines when I get older. That means I got experience. And also your skin looks hydrated. It just looks glowy. And you can just tell when someone drinks their water. Their skin is glowing and you're like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I use this. I'm like, but do you drink water? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I don't. Also, for my discoloration girly, I'm in that club. It also helps increase the blood flow, which means it helps even your skin tone more. The reason we have dark circles sometimes is, you know, it's genetics, especially us East African girls. I'm wearing concealer now, but I have dark circles too that I'm working on. If it's pigmented, it could also be this thing called vascular under eye pigment. That means the blood is not getting there. So drinking more water kind of helps increase the blood flow in your body. If you just have discoloration all over your body, this could help. This could be a big part of that, just to help increase blood flow. You know, exercising and everything also helps with that. But drinking water, if it could do that, it could do a lot more things. Water also helps flush out just like everything, all the impurities, just everything. It also reduces puffiness and maintains your pH balance. And there's other things that you can maintain your pH, but pH is basically down there. You just want everything to just be good. Yeast infection, BVs, UTIs, none of that. You don't want that. So just drinking water helps with that. Get a cute water bottle so that you're encouraged to drink more of your water throughout the day. The next mistake I've made a bunch of times when I was younger, but putting anything but soap and water down there for your downstairs area. Just like our intimate area, we just need soap and water. That's all we need. No perfumes, no lotions, none of that. Especially if you shave down there, be careful with that. Just putting anything that smells, especially, it throws off our pH. Anything that's not supposed to go down there, just be careful. What I use is just water and CeraVe foaming face wash, just like a gentle facial cleanser. I heard a gynecologist say that. I started using it and it's been working for me for about a year, but it might not work for others. That soap has been helping me. It's very gentle. Just that soap with the microfiber cloth is very soft. This kind of helps aid clean it down there. And let me just say, it's only the outside. When I say down there, nothing should be going up there. It's self-cleaning. I think of it like a cat. If it's self-cleaning, God made our body parts to work exactly how it is. So if we let it do what it does, it's gonna keep doing what it does. So just be careful what you put up there. It doesn't need to smell like roses. Just as long as we have our natural smell down there and you clean it very well inside the shower, as I mentioned in my last video, sing that ABC song. Gentle soap, water. I use a microfiber cloth, but you don't even have to. Some people just use their hands as long as it's clean and you feel clean. So just leave it alone. Don't put anything that's not supposed to go up there. The last hygiene mistake I've made in the past, and I feel like I had to bring what I really believe in one plain thing and really what works for me, is stop listening to 100 different hygiene tips. You're gonna be confused. I know a lot of people on TikTok where, especially right now, they'll be like, oh, this is bad for you. Once you start using it, this is bad for you. Really do the research for you. I know most of the tips I tell, especially these videos, it's tips from me, what worked for me, experiences that I've been through that maybe could help you. I can bet you like 99% every single tip I tell won't help every single one of you. I know some people would disagree with some of the tips I tell, and that's okay because your experience is different than mine. And if you do have different experiences, let me know in the comments. I would love to know, because we can all learn from each other. If you're like me, you love watching hygiene tips, you want to level up, but really know what's for you and what's not. really get that tips that work for you, try it, and I'm here to help you, girl. We're gonna level up together, either with our hygiene, our life. Just really be careful. Whatever works for your skin, whatever helps you smell good, whatever helps you feel confident, just put it in like a bowl where you're like, okay, this works for me, this doesn't. I am more than happy if even one of the tips I tell you works for you, because it's like I helped with something from my experience. I love reading comments because I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. Or like, I'll be like, I disagree, but I know what you mean. But like, there's just different things where we can just have discussions in the comments where I learn from you, you learn from me. But don't feel stressed out that you put so many hygiene routines from different people. And if something works for you and it doesn't work for me, that's okay. If something works for me and it doesn't work for you, that's also okay. We have different bodies. So those are the hygiene tips that I would highly avoid from my experience. And I hope at least one of these helped you, or something you even realize you're like, oh, okay, I need to stop doing this. Or if you have hygiene horror stories, let me know, because we gotta learn from each other's experience and mistakes, right? Thank you so much for watching, and come again.